Hello everyone, a very good afternoon to you all. So we are back again with our grammar reading comprehension. We have actually started a series so that we can cover PYQs also and important concepts that are related to it. Okay, so we will start today in the way that we have discussed, or also we can say that we have agreed to cover syllabi in such a way that it will definitely help us. Not just to memorize the fact, rather also to consider in such a way that it will definitely ease our burden as far as English grammar or comprehension is concerned. Okay, so we will start in a minute or two. Kindly do join. Please do also forward this link to your friends also, so that they can also prepare well for their examination. Okay, so we will start in a minute. Kindly do join. We will start in a minute. Let's wait for 1 more minutes, guys. Please hurry up. Please do join. We will cover in such a way that it will definitely help us. Okay, please do join, and also I'm so sorry for starting this class a 2 to 3 minute delay due to some issues, technical issues. Okay, guys, please do join. We will start in a minute. Okay, I think we should start now, since we are not having much time. Okay, so like discussed earlier, we will start with one word, that is okay, pardon me for a second. Okay, just wait for a second. Okay, just wait for a second. Let me just check this. Okay, meanwhile, please have a look to this word that I have included in word of the day, and we have agreed to cover our vocab part in such a way that it will definitely help us, guide us in order to cover more and more, just by also taking into account all other factual details also. Okay, so please have a look. And the word of the day, the word that I've included today is revulsion. Now, whenever we talk about this word revulsion, what actually it refers is something absurd in terms of that will create disgust. होता है ना, कभी कभी अंदर से एक फीलिंग आती है कितना बुरा है, कितना गंदा है. It means it will definitely develop itself from looking at something that is very loathsome. Okay, just wait for a second. I will write that word, since I'm facing a little bit difficulty here. Okay, just wait for a second. I will write that word. Till then, I will let me explain you to this word also. So, for example, revulsion means a sense of disgust and loathing. Okay, what do you mean by loathsome? Loathsome basically means something. Okay, hold on for a second. Okay. I'm so sorry for this technical a little bit halt in our learning. Okay, so there, so we were talking about actually what do you mean by revulsion? Okay, so the first word that we also need to take into account when we are talking about something which is loathful. Okay, loathing means something which itself is very repugnant to us. Remember, there is a word called repugnant. Okay, REPUNGENT. It means something which is not amenable to our eyes. Amenable means something which we do not actually, we can say, witness in our day-to-day life. Okay, so whenever we talk about revulsion, we are talking about a sense of disgust and a loathing phenomenon, and synonyms will be abhorrence, okay, repugnance, nausea, detestation. Detestation means something very vulgar in terms of its physical appearance. Okay, तो ये जो आपका वर्ड है रिवल्शन, ये हमेशा आपको ध्यान में रखना है कि ये हमेशा फिजिकल अपीयरेंस के टर्म में यूज होता है. ओके, जिसको एक भी पर्सन अगर कोई विटनेस करता है, कोई भी अगर विटनेस करे, तो दैट इज वेरी नॉट सूदिंग टू आइज. SOOTHING. सूदिंग मीन्स कंफर्टेबल. ओके, कॉम्फी. Okay, so antonyms will be something which is very pleasing to our eyes. For example, penchant, predilection, preference, and propensity. Okay, something which is very appealing, we can say. Okay, something which is very appealing. Appealing means something that our eyes always wants to see. For example, let's say whenever you visit, whenever you travel in those mountain scenery, mountain beauty, what you notice that those वो जो आपका व्यू होता है ना, वो बहुत अच्छा लगता है आपको. So that is called as appealing, means something that you want to see again and again. Okay, it means revulsion क्या होगा, जिसको आप एक बार भी देखना पसंद नहीं करोगे, बट गलती से अगर आपने देख लिया है, then you definitely would love to have a look on that again. Okay, and antonym is appealing, something that you wanna see again and again. So when we look at the word and its sentence construction, what we can say is that widespread public revulsion, okay, at the executions exacerbated a growing alienation from the British administration in Ireland. Remember, Ireland में जो मैसेकर हुआ था एक, उसके रेफरेंस में ये है, ठीक है, डबलिन मैसेकर कहते हैं उसे. तो उसमें क्या है, widespread public revulsion, okay, widespread public revulsion at the execution. Remember, this execution part where a mass murder happened in that Ireland, Dublin. Okay, so that's why here the word revulsion has been used, in a sense that you don't want to see on a regular basis those massacre that actually happened on that street. Okay, so always remember, revulsion is something which is not very appealing, which is loathsome, which is not desirable as far as visual we can say visual lens is considered, in the lens through visualization. Okay, always remember it. Now please do have a look. Please try to note it down. Please try to also make notes along with the teaching, because these words actually appear in the examination. I have taken this word from one paragraph which was actually asked in SSC CGL examination around 2019. Okay, so please make a note of this slide, so that you can store it for your later use. Okay, so similar and synonyms is abhorrence, repugnance, nausea, and detestation. Okay, so we will move on to our next slide. That is you need to identify. Remember, we have talked about it, that we will try to cover our vocabulary in such a way that it will also cover our 2 to 3 words, around we can say 4 words. Okay, meanwhile, so please try to identify the word leveraging. Means the question is asking about, okay, the capital letter followed by 4 alternative words. Select from the alternative the word nearest in meaning to the word given in capital letter. Okay, so you need to identify what is the nearest meaning, okay, meaning to this word. You will have 5 seconds, please, to have a look on this word and try to identify what can be the appropriate word that can also be used against those leverage words. Okay, so those who are watching the recorded version, you are requested to pause the video and try to find the answer. So whenever we talk about word leverage basically means something that you can actually put it out in order to you can also say in order to close a deal. For example, let's say when you go to a bank, okay, what you will do, you will put something as far as guarantee is concerned. Okay, remember, while applying for a loan in a bank, all you need to do is put some leverage. Okay, leverage. Leverage means something that you can also use in order to maximize your profit. For example, in finance, leverage means, leverage trading means when you multiply, or you can say when you open a trade, multiplied by 1, 2, how much times you can multiply it, that will be categorized under the word leverage. So leveraging in that sense will always be used, which can also, you can say, which can also add strength, or we can say add value to any particular word, any particular phenomenon. Okay, so weakening means something that can actually corrode the entire process. Destroying means destroying completely. For example, we can say destroying. What does it mean, destroying? Destroying means corrosion by parts. Okay, CORROSION, corrosion by parts. ओके, सो यहाँ पे दो वर्ड बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बन जाता है जब आप डिस्ट्रक्शन की बात करते हैं. ओके, डिस्ट्रक्शन एंड डिमोलिशन. ओके, always try to remember that destruction is always based upon the mass scale. Whenever something is corroding level by level on a mass scale, it will be called destruction, and demolition will be something which always happens on a small scale. For example, let's say a building is never destructed, rather building is demolished. Okay, building is demolished. Demolished here means the demolition, or we can say the destruction not on the part of, we can say, okay. So we were talking about destruction versus demolition. Okay, remember, these two words are very important, because whenever we talk about destruction, we are actually talking on a large scale. Okay, and whenever we are talking about demolition, we are talking in terms of small scale. For example, let's say a building is demolished. Okay, a building is demolished, but a city, okay, a town is destructed. Okay, so please do try to keep in mind these two important words. They are very important as far as synonymous is concerned. Okay, so demonstrating means trying to show something, okay, through physical action. Demonstrating means trying to show something by physical action, we can say. Okay, so demonstration will always be supported by an action. Okay, so the best option that we can choose, the most appropriate one, is rather gearing. Whenever you see the term gear, for example, a gear in a car, what are its function? Actually, it speeds up the car. Okay, gear 1, gear 2, gear 3, and gear 4. It means it is similar in terms of multiplying. How much number you multiplies actually will itself, we can say, will try to speed up. For example, if you are using gear number 1, gear number 2, gear number 3, gear number 4, and gear number 5, what it will do? It will definitely accelerate the total motion of a car as far as speed is concerned. Okay, so in a similar way, leverage means something which can speed up the process, but in terms of finance, we can say. Okay, in terms of finance. So they both are not synonym, we can say, but rather we can use it whenever we can say we try to replace the word leverage in terms of finance, in terms of capital gain. Okay, these terms are used in banking. We can also say these are financial terms. Okay, so I hope आपको समझ में आया होगा कि leveraging क्या है. लेवरेजिंग के सबसे नियरेस्ट मीनिंग क्या है, ओके। एंड ऑल्सो थोड़ा सा अगर हम टिप्स एंड ट्रिक्स की बात करें कि एग्जामिनेशन में आपको किस तरीके से सॉल्व करना है, एंड हाउ यू नो दैट व्हाट कैन बी द आंसर टू दिस क्वेश्चन। आप सिंपली देख सकते हो यहाँ पे वीकनिंग है, डिस्ट्रॉइंग है एंड डेमोन्स्ट्रेटिंग है, ओके। तो वीकनिंग एंड डिस्ट्रॉइंग ऐसे टर्म है जो बिल्कुल सिमिलर है। इट मीन्स ए थिंग विल बी डिस्ट्रॉयड ओनली आफ्टर इट गेट वीकन्स बाय एनी एक्सटर्नल फैक्टर, ओके। तो ये दोनों दो आप एक्सक्लूड कर सकते हो। डेमोन्स्ट्रेटिंग में आपका क्या है, फिजिकल बिहेवियर, फिजिकल एक्शन आता है, यहाँ पे आप कुछ दिखाने की कोशिश करते हो। बट लेवरेज इज समथिंग वेयर यू आर नॉट एक्टिंग इन अ सम वे, रादर you are putting something so that it can multiply itself, okay। So always remember leveraging means gearing. Now also I have tried to include some questions. For example, yeah, answer you can say that both leveraging and gearing means the use of credit or borrowed capital to increase the earning potential of share. It means whatsoever amount you have, you are using some leverage so that it can grow faster, okay। So that's why leveraging and gearing have a same meaning. Now we will move on to next question, that is idioms and phrases that we have also discussed. That we will try to cover one to two idioms and phrases each day, so that at the so that we can definitely cover around 25 to 30, okay, in a month, or we can say not 25 to 30 but also 100 to 100. It all depends upon how much we cover. So I have included two questions on idioms and phrases today. Please go through these two questions and please do try to answer. What can be, the question is asking about the following sentences have a certain phrase highlighted in bold, okay. Choose the correct phrase from the options given below to replace the highlighted phrase and make it grammatically correct, okay. So you just need to choose the best option which will actually make this statement true, okay. So please have a look. Please spend 5 to 10 seconds on this question and then please try to answer what can be the most appropriate one so that it can appear grammatically correct, okay. Have a look and please try to answer. Okay, so इस क्वेश्चन में actually when we talk about these type of questions, what you need is to also try to recall what are the phrases that you have studied till now. For example, whenever we talk about, है ना, एक हिंदी में मूवी है सांड की आंख, where we are actually talking about how women from those rural village actually तापसीपन acted in that movie. तो उसमें आपने क्या देखा है कि किस तरीके से बुल्स आई जो होता है वो क्या होता है, ओके। इट मीन्स जब भी हम बुल्स आई की बात करते हैं तो ये एक ईडियम्स है। इसका मतलब क्या होता है, टू अचीव योर गोल, ओके, टू अचीव नॉट योर गोल, वी कैन से टू अचीव समथिंग परफेक्टली, ओके, परफेक्टली विदाउट एनी एरर, to achieve something perfectly without any error. It's all about perfection whenever we talk about the bullseye. And always remember, whenever we talk about bullseye, we never talk about reaching, because bullseye, it's something which here signifies or symbolize, we can say, something which can be attained through action, okay. So bullseye is always not approach, nor ignore, nor instigate, rather bullseye is always hit, okay. Remember वो आर्चरी में होता है ना, bullseye के सबसे ज़्यादा point होते हैं. It means something you are achieving perfection, and the score of the bullseye is around 10 to 20, differs what are the different scores through which it can be measured, okay. So hit the bullseye है, इसमें कि आप क्या करते हो, what you do, you are trying to achieve a perfection. So remember this sentence, your remark about finances, hit the bullseye. It means whatsoever concept that person is having about finances. For example, let's say, how do we need to manage our finance, how do we spend our finance, what are the financial aspects relating to a company. So whenever we talk about the finances, we actually also talk in terms of that how all those finances can actually confer or refer to the same idea, है ना. तो जब भी आप बात करोगे reach the bullseye, it's not about reach, it's about hit. To have a perfection in understanding any phenomenon, any behavior, or we can say in this case the finance, okay. Now the question number 3 is about His views on female feticide are effectively a paper test of his view on women's right. Option is an equality test, eraser test, a gender test, a litmus test. देखिए litmus test क्या होता है? litmus test होता है कि किसी भी चीज, फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपने साइंटिफिक एक्सपेरिमेंट में पढ़ा होगा, है ना, साइंस में हम लोग जो लिटमस पेपर पढ़ते थे कि लिटमस पेपर से मालूम चलता है वेदर समथिंग इज एसिडिक और समथिंग इज बेसिक। उसका मतलब क्या है? वेदर समथिंग इज एसिडिक और बेसिक, अगर हम उसके कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स और क्वालिटी के फीचर को अगर हम किसी पेपर के थ्रू निकालते हैं, इट मीन्स एनी पर्टिकुलर कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स कैन बी आइडेंटिफाइड बाय यूजिंग एनी पर्टिकुलर सेट ऑफ फिनोमिनन, है ना। तो वही हमारा फिनोमिनन क्या होता है? एक लिटमस टेस्ट होता है। जैसे मान लेते हैं कि किसी भी चीज के आप कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स को फाइंड आउट करना चाहते हो, है ना। whenever you try to find out the characteristics related to, or we can say pertaining to any particular phenomenon, what you do, you sometimes do a pilot study, you sometimes do a litmus test. Litmus test is basically what you are setting the criteria here. You are setting the criteria to find out the women's right as far as, or we can say in comparison to the female feticide. It means we can say what is female feticide? Female feticide क्या होता है? Female feticide basically the killing of a baby child inside the womb of a mother, है ना। तो जब भी आप फीमेल फिटिसाइड की बात करते हो तो यू विल डेफिनेटली टेक इनटू अकाउंट, हमें ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि सारे वुमेन्स का हम फीमेल फिटिसाइड की बात करते हैं, हम पर्टिकुलर कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स, पर्टिकुलर ट्रेट्स की बात करते हैं। किसके रेफरेंस में? हम वुमेन्स राइट्स के रेफरेंस में बात करें। इट मीन्स वुमेन्स राइट्स जो है वो हमारा एक ब्रॉड कॉन्सेप्ट है ना, इट्स अ ब्रॉड कॉन्सेप्ट, और इस ब्रॉड कॉन्सेप्ट को हम बहुत सारे एलिमेंट्स के थ्रू बनाने की कोशिश करते हैं, और जो बहुत सारा एलिमेंट है वो क्या है? उनमें से एक एलिमेंट हमारा ये फीमेल फिटिसाइड भी है। दैट हाउ मच वी कैन से women as far as their rights is concerned, how much female feticide actually stands in that broader concept, broader phenomenon, है ना। जैसे हम एसिड के अपने लिटमस टेस्ट पेपर की हम बात करते हैं, तो यहाँ पे क्या आंसर होना चाहिए? लिटमस टेस्ट, because whenever we try to understand the characteristics, whenever we try to understand the qualities related to that broader concept, we actually perform a litmus test. Okay, आपने पढ़ा भी होगा कि हम स्कूल में जैसे किस तरीके से हम साइंस में, केमिस्ट्री में यूज करते थे। Now I hope you have understood the phrase of the day, that is, it is not reach the bullseye, rather it is about hitting the bullseye. It means attaining perfection. Number one, attaining perfection. And now it's about a paper test. Paper test is nothing, rather it is about a litmus test. It means to test for a particular phenomenon, to test for a particular phenomenon. Okay, so this is called the litmus test. So please have understanding of these types of idioms and phrases, because sometimes it will be asked in the examination. Okay, so here we can say the phrase hit the bull's eye means get something exactly right or be on target, and litmus means a test used to determine someone's true intention or beliefs. Okay, it means when we are taking into account that broader range, that broader perspective, and trying to understand it, or we can say trying to understand the genuine, or we can say trying to understand those characteristics, those qualities, okay, on an individual level, that will be called as a litmus test. Now we will move on to another type of question where it is commonly asked in the examination, that identify, or we can say which of the following spelling is correct in this sentence. Okay, so please try to have a look, and please try to answer this question, because these type of questions are frequently asked question in examination. Okay, so which type of spelling is correct? I think I would request you to please pause the video and try to find out what can be the answer to this question. Meanwhile I will answer that it is Fahrenheit, Fahrenheit. It basically represents the hotness, or we can say the coldness. Okay, it represents the hotness, okay, or coldness of any object, we can say, or any object, anything, any human, whatsoever you want to say. It is basically a measurement in order to determine the hotness, or we can say the coldness of any particular object, any person, anything, or any phenomenon. Okay, so please to keep this in mind, which of the following spelling is correct. Now Now, as discussed, we will also try to cover our one part in our each class, so that you can also have a thorough understanding at how certain things that we can use in our exam, and that we can use actually in order to perform better in our examination. For example, I have included a slide. Now we will start with parts of speech, then we will go to tense, then we will go to articles, then we will go to how to find out which part have some grammatical errors that are actually asked, that is included in that paper pattern. So what I thought, it will be best that we will go through these 1 unit per day, which will help us in order to attempt those questions, which basically demands a basic understanding of sentence structure in terms of grammar, in terms of tenses, in terms of article. Okay, so first is what is a noun? We all know noun is the name of a person, place, or thing. For example, name of a person, place, or thing can have a proper name. For example, when I say Ram is going to place A, it means we have properly used, we have properly identified to whom it is actually talked about. In this sentence, Ram, we can say is proper noun here, because we are identifying the name of a person, okay, in this sentence. And common noun, basically something which represents its entire group. For example, we can say boat is floating in the water. Okay, boat is floating in the water. It means what? It means the boat. Okay, the boat. We are not talking about a particular boat, rather we are referring to all other boats that are actually also present at the same time in the water. So proper noun and common noun. Proper noun means it is a specific name of a person, place, or thing, and is always capitalized. Always remember, whenever we write a proper noun, we always capitalize it. And what is common noun? Common noun is something which is a common from a class, from a group, and it's not capitalized until and unless it occurs at the beginning of a sentence or in a title. Okay, so always remember, जब भी हम collective noun की बात करेंगे, जब भी हम common noun की बात करेंगे, we need to also keep in mind that a proper noun is always used in capital, always capitalized, and a common noun is something which is not capitalized. Rather, it will be capitalized if and only if it is present at the very beginning of a sentence. Like here, I have mentioned that boat is floating in the water. Since boat is present, okay, at the first position of the sentence, that's why I have written boat in B with B capital. Okay, now we will move on also to other properties. For example, common nouns can have a concrete noun, abstract noun, and collective noun. Concrete noun is something which we understand by, which we perceive by senses. Rather, we can say something that a physical we can say that a physical existence which we can touch through, which we can touch, which we can sense, which we can feel. Okay, so this is concrete noun. Now what is abstract noun? Abstract noun is something that we cannot comprehend or we can perceive by senses. For example, let's say honesty, courage. These are the words that have existence, but we cannot touch it, we cannot feel it, we cannot sense it. Rather, it's something that is an abstract concept. Okay, some idealistic form. Next is collective noun. What is collective noun? Collective noun is something, for example, when we say a bunch of key. What is a bunch of key? Okay, a bunch of key, a bunch is actually, it's a collection. Whenever we write, for example, let's say we say a dozen banana, what are we referring to? We are actually referring to a collection, a group. Okay, and what those groups symbolize? A collective noun which is represented in the form, or we can say a noun which is rather represented in a collection. For example, a bunch of banana, sorry, a dozen of banana and a bunch of key. Okay, so please try to have understanding, and I have tried to cover these small parts in everyday classes, so that it will become very easy. Become easy when we will try to cover all those questions which are pertaining to our, let's say, grammatical structure and all. Okay, now in front of your slide, I have also tried to include 2 to 3 slides every day on the basis of the grammatical structure that we will try to cover in our exam, in our syllabi. And I've also tried to include 1 to 2 MCQs also. Okay, so for example, the question in front of you that you can see, that any qualities, feeling, or ideas are referred to as. Okay, So just now we have talked about that a proper noun is something which actually addresses a specific person. A common noun is something which addresses a group, a collective being. An abstract noun is something which actually refers to something which do not have a physical existence. Okay, so in this case, something that is any qualities, feeling or idea. Okay, whenever we talk about idea, we talk in terms of abstractness. Okay, so something which will have abstractness will be categorized as abstract noun. So the correct answer to this question will be option number A, that is abstract noun. Now we will move on to our next question, that is words like crowd, army, fleet and swarm are called. It's actually as you already knew the answer. In fact, you can pause the video if you want to take some time. Okay, so proper noun, thus we discussed just now. Something specific. Abstract is something which cannot be experienced or felt by our senses. So army is what? Army is actually a collection of people. Crowd is collection of people. Fleet of ships. Okay, fleet of ships. Okay, it means we are talking about a collection of our fleet which actually sails in the sea. Swarm of flies. Okay, swarm of flies. So this is also what it actually represents, the flies who are collectively or actually which refers to the collective noun. Okay, so the answer to this question will be words like crowd. Crowd means gathering of people. Army means a specialized person. Okay, fleet means a fleet of ships, and swarm means a swarm of flies. Okay, so the answer that you definitely now have understood, that how do we need to identify those types of noun. Okay, and how if we represent the types of noun, what are the factors that we need to consider. For example, when we talk about proper noun यूज करते समय आपको क्या ध्यान रखना है, आपका वर्ड जो होना चाहिए वो कैपिटल होना चाहिए, चाहे कहीं भी इस्तेमाल हो उसका, है ना. फॉर एग्जाम्पल जब हम कहते हैं द रिवर गैंगेज, ओके, कहीं पे भी जी आएगा वो जी कैपिटल होना चाहिए, ये हमारा क्या है, प्रॉपर नाउन है. लेकिन जब भी हम एब्स्ट्रैक्ट नाउन की बात करते हैं या कॉमन नाउन की हम बात करते हैं, हमें हमेशा ध्यान में रखना है, जैसे अभी हमने डिस्कस किया था अभी एक सेंटेंस, दैट बोट इज फ्लोटिंग इन द रिवर. ओके, फ्लोटिंग इन द रिवर. नाउ एक तरीके से और हम लिख सकते हैं, द रिवर हैज टू मैनी बोट्स. ओके, यहाँ पे देखो बी स्मॉल हो जाएगा. वाई? क्योंकि ये सेंटेंस के स्टार्टिंग में नहीं है. आपको बस ये ध्यान रखना है, सेंटेंस के स्टार्टिंग में अगर बोट्स होगा तो आपको कैपिटल में यूज करना है. इट मीन्स कलेक्टिव नाउन जब भी आपका स्टार्टिंग में आता है सेंटेंस के, तो आपको क्या करना है, फर्स्ट वर्ड आपको कैपिटलाइज करना है, और जब लास्ट में आएगा तो आपको स्मॉल लेटर में रखना है. कभी कभी आपके एग्जामिनेशन में इस तरीके के भी ट्रिकी क्वेश्चन पूछ ले जाते हैं, आइडेंटिफाई द इनकरेक्ट एज फार एज ग्रामेटिकल स्ट्रक्चर इज कंसर्न. ओके, तो आपको ये ध्यान में रखना है, प्रॉपर नाउन है, कॉमन नाउन है, अगर कॉमन नाउन है तो कैपिटलाइज्ड है या नहीं, होना चाहिए या नहीं चाहिए. ठीक है, ये सारी चीज़ें आपको ध्यान में रखनी है. ठीक है, तो आई होप आपको समझ में आ गया होगा व्हाट इज कलेक्टिव नाउन, व्हाट इज एब्स्ट्रैक्ट नाउन, व्हाट इज प्रॉपर नाउन, व्हाट आर द डिफरेंट यूजेस, what are the different structure that we also need to keep in mind while covering all these questions. Okay, so now we will move on to our next question, that is a dash of wolves chased a dash of deer. Okay, I have included these type of questions also so that you can have a basic understanding. For example, if they ask you in the examination, let's say that identify or pick the incorrect one in the given sentence, what you need to do is just try to remember these questions that we are actually going to cover in our coming sessions. Reason being, because sometimes we also need to use the proper word while referring to a group, while referring to a common phenomenon. For example, let's say here a dash of wolves chased a dash of deer. Okay, so whenever we talk about a pack, okay, wolves, remember we never use the word group and cattle of deer, we always use herd in order to refer something which actually grazes field. Okay, always remember, something which grazes field actually comes under the category of herd. Okay, So cattle also grazes in a field, matlab गाय also, okay, sorry, cattle also grazes in the field, but we also refer this cattle as a herd of cattle, है ना, a herd of cattle. आपको ये ध्यान में रखना है कि कभी भी अगर अगर कभी भी इस सेंस में पूछा जाए कि something which is present in a collection, in a group which actually grazes in pasture land, okay, pasture land क्या होता है, PASTURE, pasture land का मतलब होता है place which is full of greenery, okay, full of greenery. In particular, okay, in particular the grass, okay. Remember आप लोगों ने सुना होगा this highland, okay, this highland is very similar to our idea of this grazing field, okay. तो जब भी आप बात करोगे deer की, which actually grazes, which is herbivorous also at the same time, you will use herd, okay. And whenever you talk about wolves, we talk about pack. Why pack? Because whenever you see wolves, they always, you know, moves in a group, we can say, and they are so tightly packed towards each other that they are so tightly packed with each other that it's very impossible to invade their group. Remember Mowgli, आपने मूवी देखा होगा, Mowgli में कैसा है, बहुत सारे, they have a you know, they have a head, and also all other member belonging to that particular category who are actually pack. Pack means something which has no gap between them, okay. That's why wolves को हमेशा हम pack से refer करते हैं, okay. And deer जो होता है उसको herd से हम करते हैं, because you can notice whenever you see cattle grazing in a field or deer grazing in a field, what you will notice that they all graze hither and thither, okay. They also form a group, but the difference lies in the context of what their natural attributes are, okay. So whereas wolves always it always hunts, okay, it always hunts in a group in such a tight structure that it's very impossible to invade them, okay. So that's why, you know, we say remember हमारे पास एक पैक ऑफ सिगरेट हम कहते हैं, वो पैक ऑफ सिगरेट क्यों है, क्योंकि वो बिल्कुल बिना किसी स्पेस के एक पर्टिकुलर डब्बे में बंद होता है. वुल्फ भी बिल्कुल वैसा ही होता है, इसलिए यहाँ पे पैक ऑफ वुल्फ्स इज द हर्ड ऑफ डियर, ओके. आई होप यहाँ तक आप लोगों को क्लियर होगा. Now we will try to solve these passages as per our understanding, okay, so that you can also have a clear understanding, and also how to solve these questions based on paragraph, okay. So I am giving you around 5 minutes to go through this paragraph and try to understand, so that you can also answer, okay. It is talking about, in the highest sense, religion is an honestly individual issue, but there is a national question also. We must hold together, and we cannot hold together only on the strength of police regulations. An internal regulator of conduct is absolutely necessary. Will men be good and wise without the aid of religion, as modern life has multiplied desires without the corrective of a sense of spiritual values? Knowledge of modern science does not reduce either greed or lust. Indeed, it has nothing to do with these criminal disturbances of the mind. On the contrary, it finds fresh tools for greater indulgence in all forms of greed, lust, and anger. It is true that a sense of shame by itself often prevents overt misconduct, but it does not go to the root of the mischief. It does not stop undesirable mental activities. The only thing that can prevent or restrain these evils is the religious sense, okay. So we can see what this paragraph is actually talking about, at how religion can itself be an exercise of, we can say, the individual belief, rather an enforcing attitude, that we cannot enforce someone to actually we can say to engage themselves in any particular religion. So let's have a look to the questions that are present in this paragraph, and then we will try to understand the paragraph. Now, according to the author, religion is essentially remember this first line that we have seen just now, is actually talking about the first line itself. In the highest sense, religion is intensively individual issue. So whenever we talk about religion, according to the author, according to the narrator of this paragraph, religion is always a personal matter. Okay, it's having a national relevance. It's a body of rules and regulations. It's a sacrifice of worldly desires, we can say, but we cannot thirst these ideas. The idea of religion itself will differ from person to person. Okay, that's why the correct answer to this question will be religion is essentially a personal matter. Now next question is, the statement we must hold together means that we should be politically united, work together, be spiritually united, and keep up our nation's prestige. Okay, so please take 5 seconds so that you can find the answer here. Okay, please have a look to this paragraph, that we must hold together, what actually it refers. Okay, the paragraph is saying we must hold together, and we cannot hold together only on the strength of police regulation. An internal regulator of conduct is absolutely necessary. Now what is this internal regulator? Whenever we talk about internal regulator, we are talking about the acts, we are talking about all other behavior that actually a person should consciously judge. Okay, so it's all about the conscious, that how you corresponds to an idea. We can say how you say something which actually demands, we can say, an internal sense of respect, that either the way that we are behaving is this correct one or not. Okay, so religion is individual issue, but this individuality can also accounts to the fact that whenever we talk about we must hold together, we are also talking in terms of how we should behave internally, so that we can maintain our nation's prestige. We are not talking about political, we are not talking about working together or being spiritually united. We are talking in terms of how religion can serve as a tool in order to unite the nation's prestige. Okay, so please, so that's why I have stressed more upon how do we need to see the word, how do we need to also take into account the different important points that helps us actually in order to solve these type of questions. Now the question is, the author thinks that in the modern times the police have grown very powerful, people needs have increased, politicians have become corrupt, we are practicing several faiths. Okay, so what through paragraph that we have actually seen, let's move to this paragraph. Okay, as modern life, remember, as modern life has multiple desires, without the corrective of a sense of spiritual values, knowledge of modern science does not reduce either greed or lust. It means we are talking, it means क्या है, author यहाँ पे किस चीज के बारे में बात करें, तो author is talking in terms of how an individual differs on the ground of how in our modern times people needs have been increased, that we have just now seen in our paragraph, that how these people needs, okay, actually promotes the greed, number one, and also the lust. Okay, so the modern time actually, without taking into account those spiritual values, rather it promotes the need, we can say the necessity of our, by taking into account how greed and lust always play an important role in the modern times, as far as spiritual and as far as the living standard is concerned. Okay, so I think we should move on to our next question. That is, the worst thing about modern science is that it has produced dangerous weapon, spread new superstition, contributed to the decline of our values, and discredited all religions. Okay, so what you can infer is that in our previous question that we have talked about, that how people needs have increased without taking into account those moral purpose also. Okay, those moral phenomena. So whenever we talk about the absence of morality, we are also talking in terms of that how it has contributed to the decline of our values. Okay, तो देख रहे हो आपका जो आंसर है वो एक पैराग्राफ एक के बाद एक रिलेट करता हुआ है ना. इसका मतलब पैराग्राफ, whenever you try to solve or approach your paragraph, always try to start from the first paragraph and then try to relate the answer from first paragraph to the question that has been asked in question number 2. Okay, and in that way, when you move forward from question 1 to question 3 to question 4, it definitely will help you to solve these paragraphs without taking much time. Okay, so the common approach is that we go through each and every question. Okay, and then when we try to solve each and every question, we also try to look a comprehension from the very beginning to the end. And what it actually does is actually we can say it rather not reduce our effort, rather it consume more time. Okay, rather it consume more time. So that consumption, that time management itself is very important whenever we talk about solving those comprehensions. So always keep in mind how you can keep all these details. For example, let's say we have seen in question number 1 that how the modern people is thinking on the ground of individuality. And when we are talking about individuality, we are also talking in terms of how those individual attitudes towards religion is not far-fetched, rather it promotes greed, it promotes lust. And whenever we talk about greed and lust, we are also talking in terms of how those greed and lust actually contributes to decline in our values according to author. Okay, so the worst thing about the modern science is that it has contributed to the decline of our values. Now we will move on to next question, and we will see how the answer to that 4 question will definitely help us in order to answer the last question. That is, the author holds that the perfect remedy for man's evil propensity is the sense of shame. Religious sense, the combination of a sense of shame and religion and a sense of good conduct. Okay, so whenever remember, this paragraph actually is talking about the sense of religion, that how in our modern science, how in the age of this modernity. Okay, remember this last line from this paragraph: the only thing that can prevent or restrain these evil is the religious sense. Okay, remember. So always try to follow this hierarchy while you are appearing for your examination, because the question will generally starts from here, and the idea that has been taken from question number 1 will definitely echo itself in question number 2, and then from there it moves like a wheel, so on and so on. Okay, so you can see the question number 5 and the answer to question number 5: the only thing that can prevent or restrain these evil is the religious sense. That is, by restoring the faith in humanity, by shedding we can say the greed or lust, and by promoting a sense of spiritual values, knowledge, and in the individual mind of a person. Okay, so in today's class, what we have seen, we have tried to cover actually one word for the day, the meaning related to it, the antonyms and the synonyms. Number 2, we have also tried to solve these idioms and phrases of the day through their use in a sentence. Number 3, we have also seen one question based upon the spelling error. Number 3. Number 4, paragraph, where we have discussed that how we need to approach to a paragraph कैसे solve करना है. Okay, so those who will watch these videos in recorded version, I would request you to go through all these points in such a way that it will definitely help you. Okay, so pause the video, watch for the possible answers, then comment, and then try to match your answer with the answer that has been discussed in the class. And if any doubt persists, please do let us know. Okay, so we will again do something. If any suggestions or feedback that you guys can contribute, so that we can rather engage ourselves, definitely please do post a comment so that we can also approach through the alternative method. Okay, that will definitely help us. तो गाइज प्लीज ये सारे अप्रोच आप देखना किस तरीके से हम सॉल्व कर रहे हैं सारे क्वेश्चंस को, देन इट विल डेफिनेटली हेल्प यू आउट. ओके, सो वी विल मीट अगेन टुमारो definitely with more answers, and definitely in our next class I think we should now be more focused rather than solving all these questions from paragraph and all. We will definitely move forward from topic to topic. Okay, so in last class, in our next class, what I will do, I will try to include, let's say I will try to discuss the grammatical based question. Okay, the grammatical based question. Okay, and through that approach, that grammatical based question, we will also try to see some grammatical rules. Okay, rules क्या है, उन rules को कैसे अपने examination में use करना है, we will definitely try to see in our next class. Okay, meanwhile, please have a look to these questions. Okay, I have included all those questions that have already been asked in your SSC and CGL examination. Okay? So please study, please try to learn, okay, and please try to learn through the subjective approach. Okay, so rather than mugging up, please try to understand all other words that are also in relation to the meaning of that particular word. It will definitely help you out. Okay, so please to have a look, please try to revise, and please try to keep all these words in your mind. Okay, so we will definitely meet tomorrow around the same time. Okay, so till then, please to revise, please to take care. Okay, keep yourself healthy. We will try to cover more portions in our next class.